welcome to another episode of Just Retired. Ev, hello.
Hello, Graham, and hello, everyone.
Right, well, today we're looking at the 14th of February because it's a very important day.
Oh, it's Valentine's Day. You're going to take me out somewhere?
Don't get too excited. It is Valentine's Day on the 14th of February, but that's not actually the reason I'm talking about the 14th of February. There's another important reason, and that's because on the 14th of February 1966, that's when Australia changed from pound, shillings and pence to decimal currency. And we've got a few memories that we want to talk about of that particular time because we can remember the changeover.
I was in grade 4 and we had a teacher who was very, very keen to make sure that we learned how to change from pounds, shillings and pence to dollars and cents. So I can remember that. And I can remember the anticipation of actually handling the money. And as we used to have one lunch order a week, everyone seemed to save up their lunch order day for the day that we were going to have lunch orders. And so the canteen was swamped with all these lunch orders, but also everyone was really keen to see the new money come back for change. So that was something I remembered as well.
Yeah, well, that was exactly my main memory, that everybody filled in a lunch order for that day and put in too much money so as we could get some decimal currency back in the change. It was very exciting seeing the new coins and the new notes as well.
Yes.
But I wanted to talk about the advertising campaign first of all, because there was I think it would be fair enough to refer to it as a saturation advertising campaign on TV, which was meant to educate us about how to convert the dollars and cents, or the pound, shillings and pence, to the dollars and cents.
Yes.
There was a cartoon character by the name of Dollar Bill, and he was the one who always fronted the advertising campaign.
Who are you?
I'm Dollar Bill, and I've come to tell everyone that decimal currency will be here from the 14th of February, 1966.
But why are we changing? What's wrong with the old pounds, shillings and pence?
I'll show you.
Well, in answer to that question, why are we changing, Dollar Bill did an addition. He added up, first of all, pound, shillings and pence, and it was quite an involved process, very technical, and took him quite some time. And then he did this next part of the video showing you how easy it is in dollars and cents.
I actually remember my mum, who used to do all the bookkeeping for their small business, having issues changing over. And once she got the gist of dollars and cents, she said it was so much easier too.
Yeah, yeah, it was, wasn't it? And so this was, anyway, Dollar Bill's example of how easy it is in dollars and cents.
2 3s are 6. $67.11. Now, wasn't that much easier? 95% of the world's population live in countries using decimal currency. Australia's one of the last countries to change to decimal currency. New Zealand will change in 1967.
And Ev, there was one part of the campaign which was on the ads every time, and that was a little jingle featuring Dollar Bill singing the jingle to the tune of Click Go the Shears.
It was very catchy, wasn't it?
It was. We can still remember it very well to this day.
Yeah, you can't forget it. It was so cleverly put together, and I think we're all singing it until the day actually arrived where we changed to dollars and cents.
In come the dollars, in come the cents, to replace the pounds and the shillings and the pence. Be prepared, folks, when the coins begin to mix on the 14th of February, 1966.
Here was a very clever jingle to the tune of Click Go the Shears, and it certainly stuck in our mind. Very clever advertising campaign. Now, we've got some other memories, but just before we go on with them, Jace, I see our son Jace is lurking in the background, Ev. I think that he's got something to add to our video.
Well, let's see what he has to say.
My experience with the introduction of Australian decimal currency. Good question. Sorry, I wasn't alive in 66, so I can't help you.
All right, Jace, no doubt about you. I was wondering what Jace was coming up with there, seeing as he was born in 1988 and he wasn't there in 1966.
He's very clever. He always finds something to contribute.
Good on you, mate.
If you'd like, though, I can show you my collection of Australian pennies. I also have some threepences.
One other thing that was happening though, in 1966, I was helping Dad on a Saturday soft drink run. We used to go to West Heidelberg. Dad was delivering 7X soft drinks at the time. Now I just happen to have an old 7X soft drink crate with me at the moment, and this is because our son Jason got this for me a few years ago as a Father's Day present, knowing that I used to work with Dad and Mum delivering 7X home delivery soft drinks. In Warrnambool we had a local soft drink producer by the name of Reeves Soft Drinks. I thought I'd show you an example of how you can recycle these crates if you want to, because I just happened to make Jason, when he was growing up, a little billy cart. So you see there, I've used the crate as the seat. Decorated it up a little bit there with a 3YB sticker, a couple of reflectors and some old bottle tops. And it even had 2 brakes. It's only got 1 brake now because one of them fell off and I've been too slack to put it back on. But you see, you just pull that up like that. There's your brake, drags against the ground. And that's what you can do with your old soft drink crate. Dad was delivering 7X soft drinks at the time, and we did this run on Saturday to West Heidelberg, and there was an elderly lady who didn't really understand the conversion, and when I'd tell her the price of her 2 or 3 bottles of drink, she would hold up her hand with coins in it, and she'd say, well, what's that in our language? You just help yourself out of there. So she'd hold up the hand and I'd just take the coins to pay for the drinks that were delivered on the day. So
She really trusted you then, didn't she?
I must have had a very trusting type of face.
Yeah.
But that's an example though of it was difficult for some people. It was kind of easier for us because we were learning about it at school. And do you remember there was a little table, something like 1 cent, 1 penny 1 cent, 2 pennies 2 cents, 3 pennies 2 cents, 4 pennies 3 cents, was it, and 5 pennies 5 cents, something like that. So we had that little table to refer to, and that was also drummed into us during our school classes as well.
It's interesting, I've spoken to quite a few people who were a little bit older than us at the time, and they don't really have any memories of any difficulties during that conversion process. So I guess it just depended on the line of work that you're in at the time, whether you were dealing with a lot of money or dealing with money regularly, and it didn't seem to take too long to actually convert from pound shillings and pence to dollars and cents for most people, I believe.
It's interesting too, the price of the drinks at the time, 12 cents a bottle.
12 cents a bottle.
26 fluid ounce soft drink bottle in a glass bottle, and it was 12 cents a bottle. But after that it went up to 13 cents. So I had to learn the 13 times table, and I was not the best maths student, but I was probably the only one in class who knew the 13 times table, because we had to know when we were delivering bottles of drinks for 13 cents a bottle.
And this was the 750 ml?
26 fluid ounce glass bottle. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to the next thing, a mate of mine, Steve Welsh. I worked with Steve in the 3YB days, and Steve has some memories about when he moved to Australia around about this time, just before decimal currency came out, and talks about some of the difficulties that he experienced. Over to you, Welshie.
In 1965, it was October, middle of October, when the family arrived from the UK, and we had to learn in that time frame the difference between the denominations of pounds, shillings and pence from England to the pounds, shillings and pence system in Australia. But within 4 months, exactly 4 months later, we then came to decimal currency, and we had to learn how the decimal currency system of dollars and cents worked. It was an interesting exercise because for weeks and weeks on the television I can remember this little jingle which was trying to inform us how to change denominations from pounds, shillings and pence to dollars and cents. And at the same time, whilst at school, we had to learn the same process, and we went on that for weeks and weeks. And so when the 14th of February 1966 came around, it was a very hard job for people of all ages to learn how the system worked with the new dollars and cents system. I found it quite difficult. I know a lot of older people found it quite difficult, but we did work pretty hard to learn this new system. But the denominations of dollars and cents have continued, only the banknotes and the coins have changed. And as they say, the rest is history.
Thanks for that, Welsh. That's a really great story. Thank you for putting the time in to talk to us.
Now, I've got a photo that I want to show you. This is from a girl I work with. Her name is Lisa. And she was telling me the story of how last Christmas she took a couple of pennies from her dad's collection, got them polished up and made into a pendant. And I think she either got one for herself and gave one as a present, but it was from her dad's collection, and it was the 20th year since her dad had passed away. So that was a special thing she did, not so much to do with decimal currency, but it's to do with coins. And you can see there that the coin looks very impressive as a pendant. Now, I've got a few details about the coins because, as you know, we don't have the 1 cent and 2 cent coins now. The 1 cent was withdrawn from circulation in 1992, and so was the 2 cent coin. Now, the 50 cent, this was made of 80% silver and 20% copper originally. And apparently the silver price rise rose above the face value, or the silver price rose above the face value of the coin, and the mint then decided to suspend the striking of the coin in March of 1968. Also, there was confusion about the size. You could confuse the 50 cent coin with the 20 cent coin when they were both round, and that's the reason I thought that the change was made. So a new shape and alloy was introduced for the 50 cent in September of 1969, and this was made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. And as for the notes, the dollar note was replaced by the dollar coin in 1984. The $2 note was replaced in 1988 by the $2 coin. And the $50 note was introduced in 1973, and the $100 note was first issued in 1984. We had another friend who told us the story of how he had his first beer a couple of years before the change of decimal currency, and it cost 1 shilling. Now, I just wanted to show you these. We've got this old jam jar. It's an old relic. It's full of coins, and it includes the coins that Mum gave me that I was referring to. But first of all, I wanted to show you these. This is an original $2 note.
I remember that.
Yep. And the $1 note. So I've got that in the collection too. And just a funny thing I'd show you here. A little sentimental thing that Mum gave me one day. She gave me this 20 cents and she said, take that for good luck. And you can see how old that is. I've put some tape around it with Mum written on it. So as I would keep this sentimental 20 cent coin from Mum. So there it is. You can see how the tape is faded. Now, another thing to do with 1966, I was learning the drums and playing the drums all through my teenage years. And I got my drum kit in 1966. Now, as a methodical little bloke, and you see I was so happy with the drum kit that I wrote this little card which noted the date I got the drum kit and the date I got the stool, and it was a birthday present for that year. See that? And then I probably didn't like the way I'd crossed out some things with that one, so I rewrote it there. So
that is so typical you, Graham.
So some memories of 1966 there. You see here, this is the round 50 cent, and this is the round 20 cent. So you can see they're pretty close in size. and it was very easy to get them confused. So that's one of the reasons why it was changed to this one. But there you see the 50 cents, 20 cents, 10 cent, the 5, and the 2 and the 1, which you may not see too much now. But this is from the original set that Mum gave me around about 1966, all of the original coins.